Vanakkam. Change is something that has always been happening, and adaptability is something that has kept mankind alive. Hand surgeons and teachers too have to face challenges in the name of change, and that is what makes it interesting. This presentation is about my attempt at adapting to the change. Let me start with a very relevant couplet by the Tamil poet saint Thiruvalluvar, who lived 3000 years ago. Inarulthum nara malar anayar kattradu unara viritturayadar, which means a person who is not able to teach what he knows is like a bouquet of flowers without a fragrance. And this teaching, if we teach today as we taught yesterday, we rob our children of tomorrow. After all, the two eyes of the surgeon are surgery and the patient, and teaching and the student. The teacher is the same with the same passion, but the student is different. And as customer is king, the teacher has to change. And how this occurs is what we are going to see in adapting to the change in teaching hand surgery. And we shall see this in three segments. The change that has occurred, how is the adapting going to be done, and how I have adapted to it. First, we shall see what is the change that has occurred. So, what is this change in the student? Mark Prensky said, an average student spends less than 5,000 hours reading in his entire life, but more than 10,000 hours playing digital and online games. And this is as of now, and changing constantly. The Gen Next gets easily adapted to technology. You would have noted even a baby less than a year becomes calm and is more attracted to the cell phone display. So our potential students are wired differently. And apart from this change in the student, education is also changing, and we can see four new trends. The first is there is an increased diversity among the people who are listening. It used to be hand residents, orthopedic surgeons, plastic surgeons, but now the audience is much wider and more varied. There is an increase in the instructional technology. As a matter of fact, even textbooks would not be possible without internet technology. There is a greater accountability in education and more attention to good quality teaching. So I just can't take a class, I need to give evidence of what I am saying. And finally, increased professionalism of teachers, where steps must be taken to improve, and this creates higher standards of practice. So as passionate teachers, we have taken the first step. We have realized that there is a change in the teaching of hand surgery. Having seen the change, we shall now see the ways of adapting to this change. But why should we adapt at all? As Charles Darwin observed, it is not the strongest species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. So to reach the new generation student, we must adapt. In fact, we have been adapting all along. We went from the blackboard to the green board to the whiteboard and then the PowerPoint presentations. But it is obvious that we need to adapt further, and there are four major methods to do so. The first is augmented reality with the use of digital elements like 3D simulation. The second is virtual reality, where we use technology-oriented devices like glasses with screens. Thirdly, the use of artificial intelligence. And finally, virtual learning like video conferencing, Zoom webinars and podcasts to establish a link between the teacher and the student. And the simplest of all these forms of modern technology education is YouTube. Though simple, it bridges the gap between the traditional teaching and modern teaching. Being the second most visited website in the world, with more than 100 million people visiting the YouTube site every day and more than 720,000 hours of videos being uploaded daily, YouTube is indeed a rich visual resource to engage the next generation student. The advantages are that you have absolute freedom of design and you can teach complex concepts. It is free to use with only the cost of internet, and mobile learning with the same quality video on TV, laptop, desktop or even mobile phone provides micro learning, which is a boon for short attention span students. It is available on demand, which can be accessed before a surgery or an examination or a presentation class, and it has got the absolute convenience of time. But there are disadvantages too. There is no authentication provided, so we must show evidence as far as possible. It is not interactive, and it is definitely not possible for immediate question and answer unless it's a live stream on YouTube. We can only answer in the comments. And it is not monetarily beneficial as of now, as these are niche topics in hand surgery. The final million-dollar question: is teaching on YouTube effective? A study done in 2018 is quite optimistic. Having seen how the adapting is done, especially the use of YouTube, we shall now see my experiments with YouTube. I started the channel in November 2019 as a prequel to a panel discussion on brachial plexus injuries in a state conference. The channel aired 12 sessions of basics of brachial plexus surgery, which culminated in the panel discussion at the conference. And after the conference, this YouTube channel continued with teaching sessions. My target audience were the residents in hand, plastic, orthopedic surgery, general surgery, and even undergraduates. But I needed to remember, since the channel was open, even the general public could watch. Deciding on the content and the topics was very important. I decided to concentrate on hand surgery and plastic surgery topics, stressing on concepts in lectures, clinical discussions, surgical nuances, and even ethical practice. I aimed for presentations of about 15 to 20 minutes, which I felt was neither too short nor too long. But I made it a point to upload a video or session every week. Since I was comfortable with PowerPoint, I used the PowerPoint to make my videos and edited them on iMovie in Mac or Movie Maker in Windows. The user-friendly interface of YouTube helped me to make the name as GK Hand Surgery and the logo of the meditating hand. As far as the costs were concerned, the cost of the equipment and uploading was practically nil, and it was made totally free for viewers. The status of this channel now being 175 videos uploaded in various topics in hand surgery, 13,900 subscribers, 650,000 views, and about 6,000 hours of watch time. I can give you an example of how teaching on YouTube makes a difference. I had given a lecture on the Zoom platform in which 150 people attended, and the topic was instruments in plastic surgery. Assuming that all these 150 people watched all the 20 minutes of the talk, 50 hours was the viewing time. I then uploaded this same presentation on YouTube on my channel, and till now it has got 3,550 views and a total viewing time of 226.9 hours and still counting. So for successfully adapting to YouTube as a teaching medium, we need a passion to teach, regular uploading of videos, good content and relevant topics, short duration videos, and good visibility. So we need to share with social groups, apt tag words, and SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization, and of course a little extra effort. You don't put up your teaching videos on YouTube? Why? I don't believe it will be useful. You watched the presentation, right? Convinced now? I don't know how to make a video. You take classes, right? This is just one step more. It'll take just another 15 minutes. There is too much of work involved. You have the passion to teach, right? Operating on a case of hand surgery is also work, but you love doing it, isn't it? I don't think many will watch. A good teacher will teach with the same passion for 100 students or even a single student. Agree? To exist is to change. To change is to mature. And to mature is to go on creating oneself endlessly. And when you have put up your teaching video on YouTube, you have earned a piece of immortality. Thank you.